Yeah, you know, the first 48 was very interesting. When we met that first day, they said, well, this is what we're going to do. I'm thinking, yeah, right, you know, I'm going to have a guy working with me carrying a camera, and everything I say is going to be documented. I was a little bit apprehensive.
I remember the first time we started filming, my camera girl, she said, Caroline, everybody's going to know who you are. And I said, how? And she said, because once you be on First 48, everybody's going to know who you are. Well, I didn't know what First 48 was. I said, I don't even know what First 48 is. But, you know, we were filming it, but I don't watch that show. And she was right. Everybody knows me. I'm known all over the world.
Caroline and I would go out to, you know, run stuff out to the crime lab to be tested and say, well, let's stop, get something to eat. And people would approach us every time. And sometimes you could kind of feel it coming. You'd see somebody at another table and you could almost hear them, but not quite, but you could tell they were looking and saying, is that them? Is that them?
I was downtown Minneapolis walking. A beer truck comes by, and the driver slows down, leans out of his cab, and starts yelling First 48 to me. Yeah, I didn't get a free beer, but, you know, I got recognized.
I was interviewing a guy that put his hands on his knees, sat like a statue, eyes bugging out, leaning forward. I thought he was having a stroke or something. And I go, okay, what is up? And he told me. He said he was watching First 48, and the detective said, I knew he was lying because he didn't sit a certain way, lean forward. So that's what this guy's doing.
I've gotten mail, I get mail from prisoners, people in prison thinking, Caroline Mason, you can get me off. Can you just come get me and I can tell you what happened? Family members that have had victims to, they've lost family members in other cities. They've called me to see if I can help solve their case.
I'll go to a crime scene now, all these years later, and they'll say, hey, you were on the First 48. I watched that show, and you know, that kind of stuff. And it breaks the ice for us. And it gets us in the door to be able to talk to these folks.
First 48 helps people to understand that sometimes we're in a dead end and we just can't make an arrest. We just can't. People won't cooperate. Witnesses fall apart on us, and we can't go forward. And it helps them to understand just what all we go through to solve these cases.
People are very appreciative. I think they got a better understanding of what it is that police officers do in general, and homicide detectives in particular. A lot of officers have had people come up to them and thank them for doing what they do, whereas that didn't happen as much before the show started to air here.
My experience with First 48, everything was positive, except for this one thing. I owed a guy $20 from about 15 years ago. He found me. Other than that, good experience.